Okay, one of the last trees that I want to get out for this year was this stupid hackberry. If you look at it, let me stand on top of it here. One of the last trees I wanted to cut out this year was this stupid hackberry. If you look at it, this tree was kind of leaning back toward my back neighbor fence. So I had to be very careful trying to fall it backwards. So I used some wedges to I did a bad cut, but eventually I got it on the ground. Didn't fall any kind of other tree or fall into the fence. But all I'm gonna do is now is cut this wood up, and we're gonna use this for camping firewood. And that's the last tree. I'll bring the excavator out and we'll try to go ahead and dig out this stump if we get some more moisture in the ground. To kind of give you an example how big these roots are on these hackberries, I'm at least 10 feet away from that tree, at least. And that's just one root. And there's a couple stumps here. There was a pile of little hackberries that were there. I got to get that guy out, which was difficult. This guy, and somewhere over in that mess is a couple more little stumps that were hackberries. But I kind of give you an example about how long these roots are. So there's a tap root that goes down in the ground, but these lateral roots is what really holds a tree. So when you watch these stupid YouTube videos where people tie their car up to a tree and think they're gonna pull it over, it's stupid. They don't understand that this Mother Nature grew this tree and it's anchored in this ground pretty tight. But then again, this is just what you gotta do. Create a can out on the property. So here's the aftermath of that tree. Got a pile of debris over there. And most of the pieces big pieces are gonna stay right here. I'll come out with the excavator. And like I said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna dig around these little tap roots, these lateral roots. These lateral roots kind of radiate out from the trunk. So we're just going to just move this dirt around. And what you do is once you get a little leverage and you get the killer's dirt around this tree, you can kind of twist the tree a little bit. Once you start getting it twisted, then it will come out much easier. It's still going to be a hard tree to get out with that little small excavator, but it just takes time. I took it out some bigger hackberries than this. My hand is about 6 inches in diameter, so I'm thinking this tree was maybe about 9 inches, maybe, give or take. And I'm going to kind of show you this. This wedge here was done bad, but again, I was risking it. I didn't really know what way to cut, but when the tree fell, it actually pinched my blade and it impregnated the tip of the blade in the tree. Actually, when the tree fell, this chainsaw was still here running. I backed off from it and escaped, and the tree kind of fell like this and pinched out the blade. But it is on the ground. It was done safely. I could have made a bigger wedge on this face cut, but the goal was I did not want it to fall into that fence. So this tree was kind of angling every which way, so I tried to cut a deep cut on this side of the trunk, the face cut, try to get it to fall toward that feeder right there hanging on that tree, and it actually did. So this is a pretty good awkward cut. It just takes some time, and basically, like I said, you have to engineer how you want to do the cut. If you look over there, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Past that single ash, I got a hackberry that grew out of like a little V. That's gonna be a pain to get out. I'm not even gonna try to attempt to get that out. I'm gonna let this stuff dry 5 or 6, 7 years, and then I think I might be able to push it out with like a big heavy front end of the tractor. And that ash tree right there, there's a cluster of roots in there. I'm still debating if I'm gonna try to dig out that ash or just cut it flush to the ground, and again just leave it as is. And then that ash tree right there, which I did about a year ago, I'm gonna try to go and get the excavator on that guy here pretty soon. I'm gonna try to dig that out. That's ash. It should come out much easier than a hackberry. And then let's just go up a little bit. Let me just go this way. once I get this ground manicured back, I'm going to go and pull out this ash tree. I left it here kind of like just for one of the first trees that was in the middle of the property to give me a little bit of shade. But I did a real good manicure at the top, so it doesn't really have a canopy for shade anymore. And I hang my little deer feeder with the missing lid, so I get deer to come up in here. I get these little raccoons. They try to get all this corn out. Actually, they're the ones that probably get most of the corn out. And outside of that, things are looking pretty good. It's been about a year since I bought this property, or about a year since I started clearing this property, and I've made a big headway as far as getting stuff done and cleared all by myself. Just going at it, little by little, don't kill yourself. This summer was crazy with the heat, so I didn't do a lot of stuff on this summer, just because the heat was just unbearable. But we're getting there. Pretty soon I'll have the plans for their house, and we're gonna be having a house put on this property.